and this will get delivered tomorrow. So she came in yesterday, Thursday, and I told her it'd be ready. I'll deliver it Saturday. Right now, I'm just going to hit this with a 360, a 320, or a 220, just to knock the dust off. And I'm going to hold up on the sander so that it's not pushing really hard against the work. I was thinking I was going to use a mask on this, but I don't think I will because this has such good air collection. I don't need that domino to be that big right there. I think I'm going to use a domino cutter to take out a little bit and then put a little wooden thing in there.
How'd that happen?
User error.
You just got too far?
I had it set too deep from the last project. This is a tool that can fix it. What I want to do is I want to find where that thing is coming out and position it right over it, like right there. Okay, now I want to fire it up. Fire in the hole. There we go. Good or bad? Bingo! Now I can put a little black walnut plug in there. Funny how that worked out. Let me find a little piece of wood to go in there. I'm going to cut this shorter so that it doesn't fall over and look like stupid did it. Let me glove up. If you like the videos, please subscribe. It helps me do more videos and bring more content to more users. Thank you. Okay, I just fill that with some CA. Plop that in there. Give it a little love tap. I want to hit it with something harder. Hang on. Have the urge to hit something. Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted to go down in there far enough so that I can cut something off. All right, we're good. It doesn't fill the hole completely, but that's what 5-minute epoxy's for. Now, if I can get that off of there without breaking that little chip off, I'll be in business. Little side, yeah, little side. All right. Still not done yet. I want to put some more stuff in there, but I was thinking maybe I'd use some 5-minute resin. But right now, 5 minutes seems a long time. And this is quicker. I'll let that sit for a while. Meanwhile, I've got a bunch of tiny little holes I should have just used resin on that because now I got to go mix up some resin anyway. And it always pays to rest in there. Your resin won't stay. This is the lipstick. When I say I'm putting the lipstick on, this is the final touch of stuff that needs to go on to make it not have to reach my hands again. I had them built for this purpose. 3/8 inch steel.
Where'd you have them built?
I had Lehman Manufacturing make them here in Fresno, and then I had them powder coated at Blast Tech. So I'll clean these up, and those go on this table. The customer just bought that table, so I'll put the lipstick on this table today too. Check that little nail out. There's always some artifacts. She was okay with it. Nails go in, they don't never come out. You know, you can never get a nail out once you put it in a tree. There's only, the fibers are oriented like this. And when you push something in, now they're oriented like that. And now they are an obstacle to pulling anything this way. So they go in, they don't come out. I don't regret having them made, but I wish I had a better place to store them so I didn't have to keep doing my work over and over on them, you know.
What work do you do?
Just keep cleaning them up. They came in pristine on a pallet, you know, and now they sat here and got all dusty, and I need to doll them up a little bit. And I let people have these at a really good price so that it's at cost, so that when I take them back in for a trade, when they want to trade up, I can just pass that on. Some of these have been in somebody's home before. I'll just take them in on trade, and I tell them right up front, this has been around the world a time or two. They upgrade for a wooden base. A wooden base doesn't shake as much as this one. This one tends to shake a little bit. Even though it's bolted in 4 places, you can still get some movement, and that translates into a wiggly table. I mean, it doesn't wiggle on the lighter tables, say an 8-foot table or below, but on a 10-foot table, it's just not enough. There's not enough big footprint there to hold it down. And so anything over 10 feet and over, I don't recommend this for any length of time because it's not comfortable to have a table that wiggles.
The next day.
I cleaned off some stuff in here and I unburied. Check this out. I have a lot of veneer I forgot I had in here. This is what I'm working off of right now. Take a good look at that. That is just sweet. This is called cluster burl veneer. These are the clusters. And this is rotary peeled off a round burl. It's amazing they get it flat. When you book match this stuff, it just really is something special. So I found a lot of that, and I found some crotches, and not found, I uncovered it. It had been sitting here for 30 years. And so you put stuff away and you hope you'll find a reason to get into it later. And I did. My dogs were chewing it up. That was the reason I get in there, and then I found it. Red gum eucalyptus. Take a look at this. There's a good story behind this one. I don't know if I told you. My wife and I were driving on Belmont Avenue 20 years ago, before Highway 180 got built. And I noticed some construction. And so I was looking at the construction area as I was stopped at a light. And I noticed off the left there was a huge burl of some kind underneath a tree trunk that had been cut. Everything had been removed. It was just this burl sitting out in the middle of this field. And it was still in the ground. I went over and looked at it, and I realized it was a keeper. You know, it was a blue gum, but blue gum sometimes has a red hue to it, and it was just blood red on top because they had just cut it. And I knew it was Caltrans, kind of was the overseer of the project. So I called Caltrans, and I asked them, I told them who I was, and told them I wanted to conserve that piece of nature. And they said, go ahead, you've got like 3 days, because it's going to be buried. It's just going to be part of the fill for a on-ramp. That's why they left it. They didn't feel they had to move it since it was solid. And so I had 3 days to work. And I hired a backhoe guy. I told him to come by and look at it. He gave me a bid of $1,000 to dig it out. And while he was digging, I got hold of a tow truck, and he would be standing by when I call him. We didn't get a permit or anything to haul it across town. The guy spent 12 hours digging on it with the backhoe. And he really was unhappy when he got done because he had given a bid of $1,000. I ended up giving him $1,200, but He spent 12 hours on that thing. That thing was harder to get out of the ground than he thought it was. And probably a bulldozer probably would have had to be used, but he had a big backhoe. And anyway, we got it up on the truck. It extended 2 feet on either side of the truck. The burl was that massive because we could only see a portion of it sticking out of the ground. You know, maybe this much of it sticking out of the ground. Well, it went underground. It was 14 feet across and had a face this wide that you could just cut burl across, and that's what this is from. I took one of those sections and I chainsawed off a section, and I sent a couple pieces away to be cut into veneer. It was just like candy. I mean, it was just no defects. It was just pristine. I waxed it and wrapped it and sent it to bacon veneer, and they cut it into veneer. And when it got back, almost the entire lot was shattered. It was so crumbly, you couldn't pick up one sheet without it falling apart. So I just threw bundle after bundle in the dumpster, and this is what I kept. This was the parts that weren't shattered quite as badly. But you can see what it does when it shatters. It goes to pieces. And it was like that. You could read a newspaper through it, you know. It had so many holes you could read a newspaper through it. But this is pretty good shape here. This I've made several projects with this stuff, and I have quite a bit. And I've discovered all these black walnut crotches and stuff I have back here too. This is I found some crotches too. Look at this. That's 3 feet long. I'm 6 foot, and it's almost half of me. So that was the cover sheet. There's additional, I think, 100 sheets of that I've got. That was just the cover. This is some maple burl. I've got a few packages of that. See, this is where rocks were, or bark inclusions. When they cut this, this is kind of stuff you get back. I've had this for 25 years. 25 years now. It's been laid flat and protected from me and dogs. It's pretty good stuff. I need to move it in order to do my work today. So I had it packaged to keep the powder post beetle out. I put some bug killer in the package. I do a pretty good job of protecting this stuff by keeping it isolated from the dogs and bugs and rats, and can get in here and wreak havoc if you're not totally engaged in keeping that at bay. Look at that red. That's pretty. I know this looks like a lot of veneer, but you use 3 to 5 times as much more veneer than you think you'll use for any project.